Greetings guys and welcome back to the channel. Spexxy here, and today I am bringing you a look at the new explosive canisters. That's right, Axolot have added explosive canisters to the game, and you can get them by doing the following. Okay guys, so the very first thing you're going to want to do is to find Scrap Mechanic in your Steam library. Then on the left hand side in the games list, select the game title, right click it and go down to properties. Then selecting the betas tab, you will see a drop down menu which allows you to select some of the older beta programs, opt out of beta altogether, or select the test branch. And this is what you're going to need to do in order to get the explosive parts to work. Once you have test on, all the relevant parts will load and you will be able to start the game with the explosive canisters in place. Create as much chaos, destruction and mayhem as your heart desires. Now we're going to go back to the game and take a look how these parts work. So here I am driving along in a trophy truck full of explosive canisters on a nice sunny day. Yeah, probably not my best idea. Now these things come in two sizes, as you can see. We have the small and the large variety, and both of those do different amount of damage and different blast radiuses, which we'll take a look at a little later on in the video. Firstly though, I'm going to park this truck up right here behind this line of canisters, because parking a truckload of explosive canisters behind a giant pile of more explosive canisters is probably the best place for it. I think you'll agree. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, guys? So leaving that there then, I want to check how these things actually blow up and what we can use to make them do that. Now we can use a variety of different methods in order to get these things to blow up. And firstly I'm going to show you that the spud gun is the first of those. So selecting the spud gun here, shooting a small canister, you will see it gives off a little bit of steam and then bang, it has gone. The bigger one does exactly the same, but a bigger bang. Now to get those effects that you just saw there, and I'm not sure if you were paying attention, but to get those effects with the flames and the smoke, you need to have particles on. Let me just demonstrate. As you see, you get a nice flash there, the smoke clouds. Now if you turn particles off, I will just show you, you'll get none of that, and it will be rather bland by comparison. It will just be a flash of light. So let's just put one down here quickly and show you what I mean. So shooting that now, you will just see a little flash of light. It's not exactly what we're looking for today, so we're going to put those back on, but just so you're aware, you need to have your particles on to get the full effect of this, and we want the full effect today, so I'll put that back on. So we know that guns can damage these canisters. What else can we use to make these things blow? Now the next way of getting these things to explode is to actually use the hammer. Now this may seem a little dangerous because you're getting close up to these things, but we have no hit points at the moment because there's no survival mode, so it won't hurt us if we do this. Now hitting this should create a chain reaction here, and whoa, as you see there, oh, the truck is no more. So getting the canisters close enough will actually make them chain together, and yeah, that truck is nowhere to be seen. I completely obliterated the whole thing. Now you can also link these things up to a switch. So if you had a gun here connected to a switch, you could just press the trigger there and off it goes. And as you see there, it didn't actually damage the metal bar there because the small canister wasn't strong enough to deal enough damage at that distance. Now putting one right next to the bar, I think will actually blow it up. Let's just see. And there you go. It still didn't blow the whole thing up, but it actually blew it from the ground there. So yeah, it deals different damage depending on the size of the explosive you're using. Now the last way you can damage these things and make them blow is to use a vehicle and drive into it at velocity. I'm going to put a little battery ram on the front of this truck here, and we're going to take this thing into 3 of these barrels at speed and see if we can get these things to blow up just by driving into them. So let's get a run up here and let's go into these nice and fast and see what happens. So here we go. Oh, nothing. Oh, there you go. And it threw me completely out of the seat. In fact, there is no seat anymore, but half of the truck is still there. I think the truck was made mostly of metal, so it seems that some of it survived the back section there, but none of the front section, and the seat has completely gone. Okay, so to test the blast radius on these, I've set out a course of the different types of materials within the game. Starting here with cardboard, then the barrier block, then the wood, the concrete, the tile, the glass, the floor light, I think that is, and then the ship maintenance block, is it? Is it a ship maintenance block? Yep, maintenance ship brick. And then we have the brick, followed by the metal, so they should be ranged in the order of weight. Now the one thing I've noticed is that this ship maintenance block is actually lighter weight than both the metal and the brick, but I'd imagine it actually does hold more damage, I would have thought, as a ship block. I think it was called an indestructible block at one point. So yeah, we're going to test it out anyway and see what actually happens when we shoot these things. So let's shoot this one then. Cardboard, I'd imagine, isn't going to hold up much of a fight, and there you go. Actually, that's not even. There's something a little bit odd about that. It seems that the center point is not the center of the canister, which kind of makes sense because it's a 4-block placement, so therefore one of the 4 blocks needs to be the center point, and it can't actually be in the middle. So as you can see there, it's off center. I'm not sure exactly how much of a blast radius that had on cardboard. We're going to test it out here on the barrier block and see. It looks to have about the same there, and then on the wood, okay, on wood we do a little bit less damage. So let's have a look then how much damage that was by finding the center point here. So we actually, let's put this back in quickly. Actually, we don't need to go all the way. Let's just go to the middle here. That looks like that's the center. Yep, indeed. And therefore we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks of damage in each direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So yeah, a 6-block radius on wood, but we're not sure what it did on the cardboard and the barrier block. So let's just test this out over here by putting one of these down and actually putting 16 blocks on either side of cardboard and seeing if that is going to tell us exactly how much damage it does in each direction. Oh, I don't want to put that there. What am I doing? Put it on the floor. Down one. There we go. Let's go there. 16 blocks across this way and 16 blocks across this way, and then when we shoot it we should get an actual radius of this. So let's go and shoot that now. Get the spud gun where I get. There you go, and boom. Okay, so the center of that is just there. There it is. So how much blast radius did it have on cardboard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 on cardboard, 6 on wood. It looks like it was 7 on the barrier block as well. So that's pretty cool. So let's then move on and see what happens with the concrete block then. So let's have a look. I'd imagine this is a little bit better than the wood. And it seems that it is. So yeah, it didn't actually get completely through this one. So let's put the middle back in there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 radius on this, 6 on the wood, 7 on the barrier and the cardboard. Okay, so it's getting increasingly smaller. Let's try the tiles then and see how this fares. Now it's a medium weight again, so should be similar. In fact, it's exactly the same there as the concrete, so that's pretty cool. Now onto the glass. Now glass, I'd imagine, be more breakable, and exactly that. So it's actually a medium weight material, but it has the properties of a lightweight when it comes to its durability, and it's actually blown apart much like the cardboard and the barrier blocks did. Yeah, this is highly breakable, I guess, so that's pretty cool. Now moving on then to this one, which was the floor light block, and that is pretty hard. That's pretty sturdy. Okay, so where's the middle then? Again, the middle would be off center as we've already worked out. So it looks like it's going to be 4, 4, yeah, and only 3. So we actually want to find the center of these blocks would actually be, I think, that top corner there. That'll be it. Yep, with 4 in every direction, and that is where the center point is. So yeah, not on the center of the actual canister, as I said before. To demonstrate, let's just put blocks on the top here, and it's kind of the top corner just there, if you can imagine. That is the center point of the explosion, not the center of the barrel. But I guess the game works in blocks, so that's just the way it's going to have to be. It's all pretty cool. Okay, so then this one. Oh, that held pretty well. Is that the same? Yeah, I think that's the same as the floor block there. And then onto the brick. Let's try this one, and boom! It is actually dealt more damage than the other one, which I kind of predicted would happen. But yeah, it's a heavyweight item again, but it actually took less damage than a medium weight item. And then the metal, you'd imagine, will be the most durable. And yep, absolutely that. There's hardly any damage to that. So I think it would look like, what, 3 in each direction? A 3 or a 4, isn't it? Probably 4, the same as the other ones. Yeah, 4 in each direction, the same as the floor block and the maintenance brick. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. So then moving on, we're going to check out the heavy explosive. So exactly the same principle then. We're using the different materials with the heavier explosives this time, just to see what the difference is to the explosion radius. And the first one on cardboard as completely obliterated, and it's actually eaten into the next tile there. Seems like I haven't made these tiles big enough. So actually, can we calculate that? I guess we can. Now the center point of this, of course, actually is in the center because it's a 9-block placement radius on this. So as you see, it has a center point. So calculating the actual blast radius, it's easier with this one. And the center of that would have been just there. And that is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 blocks blast radius from that one. That's pretty cool. I'm imagining the same on this one then for the barrier tile. This should be exactly the same. And there it goes. And exactly as predicted, as with the smaller explosions, it's got exactly the same durability as should the wood. Maybe a little bit more, but it actually looks like it's eating just as much. So I'm guessing either 13 or 14. That one didn't eat into the next tile, so that looks like it's actually probably a little bit less on concrete, maybe an 11. And then let's have a look at this one. Oh, that ate into the glass there, so that's back to being a 14, definitely. Maybe even a 15, that's gone in by 3 blocks. So yeah, glass is definitely the most breakable item in the game. And then that did no damage to the next tile. And the floor tile, oh, actually contained the blast. So it didn't actually break out of this completely, as you can see. So if I put a block in the middle here and actually work out the blast radius of this one, it's going to be considerably less than what we had before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so an 8-block blast radius, that's a lot less than the 14, 15 we have been seeing. So yeah, this actually contained the blast, that's pretty cool. Now, as we saw with the smaller explosions, this tile, along with the metal and the maintenance block, held them exactly the same, even though this is a medium and so is the maintenance block, but they both held it the same as a heavyweight block. Okay, so we're going to try this then. The maintenance block, and exactly as predicted, the same blast radius. Now it's a bit weird that these blast radiuses are actually square and not circular. They seem to be more circular on the smaller explosion, but not on this. Now that did a lot more damage, again, like it did on the small ones. The brick doesn't hold up so well, and the metal again holds up pretty damn awesomely. The best items in the game then are definitely the metal, the maintenance brick, and the floor light tile. They all hold out exactly the same, and that's going to come into a lot of use when it comes to survival mode. Which sort of materials you're going to use and what you're going to use them for is going to play a big part based on their durability. Now there's another cool feature of the explosive canisters, and that is what happens to you, the player character, if you are in the vicinity of the blast radius when the thing goes off. And to demonstrate that, I'm going to give this one a little bit of a tap here, and you will see, woohoo, it throws us clear into the air, a little bit like a rocket jump there, because whilst we have no hit points and no survival mode, yeah, it doesn't kill us. I'm pretty certain if survival mode was here, that would have killed me right there. Now, I know you guys didn't just come here today to watch me put the new explosive canisters through their paces in an array of different tests in laboratory conditions. You actually wanted to see things blown the hell up, and why wouldn't you? I know I do, and I've put together a short demonstration to show you exactly that. So that was the new explosive canisters. I hope you liked this video. It kind of showed you a little bit of how they work. We're going to take a closer look at it actually in a few creations in future episodes. I'm sure there's going to be some awesome stuff on the workshop with these new explosive parts, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. And in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, as always, why not spank the hell out of that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe for more great content. And until the next one, see you soon, and bye for now.